Hello and welcome again to the EPL Fanbase Show, the show that connects you with the happening in the English Premier League. My name is FM Steve, and I'm joined in the show by football pundit Ron. Ron, how are you?
Hi. I'm fine. Hello, viewers. Nice to be here again.
Yes, yes. So today we want to dissect, we want to look at match preview, match day 9, and there are interesting matches. Last week we were at international break, but this coming weekend we have big matches. Focus point Tottenham versus Man City and Liverpool versus Leicester. So I want Ron just your prediction for the fans who might be betting on these matches. Newcastle, Chelsea,
Newcastle, Chelsea. I want to go for Newcastle 1, Chelsea 2.
Newcastle 1, Chelsea 2. Aston Villa, Brighton,
I want to go for 3-1 victory for the home side, Aston Villa, who are in some good form,
they are in good form.
especially the likes of Grealish and Oli Watkins. Yeah,
They,
and not forgetting the renewed Barkley.
they really tormented Arsenal and Liverpool this season. Tottenham and Man City.
Very difficult game, but I want to go for the away game for Man City. I want to go for the away win. I want to go for uh, probably I see a KG affair. That's why I want to go for a marginal win for Man City 0-1.
0-1. Manchester United, will they get their first win at home? Manchester United versus West Brom.
Yeah, I see a very convincing victory for them. Uh, there have been concerns of Teles having got COVID also after Luke Shaw being out, but he's touted to be fit for the game. So I expect a solid performance for them. I want to go for a resounding victory for them, uh, a 4-1 win for Manchester.
4-1 win for Manchester. Fulham, Everton.
Uh, Everton have had very difficult last 3 games. I think they have lost all of them. But in that game, Richarlison is back, and Rodriguez has also had some rest. He'll be back for that game. So, but also Fulham has been improving. It will be a tight game. I think Everton could see a first win in 4 games. In this one, I want to give them a 4-2 victory.
4-2 victory awaiting.
Yes.
Sheffield, West Ham.
Sheffield are still looking for for their first win, and West Ham, a team known for posting indifferent results. They've been in some good form, probably one of their best stats this season, despite having a very difficult fixture. Uh, but I don't know. I just feel Sheffield United have been so close to getting more than what they have got in their previous matches. Forget the Chelsea game; they got battered, but the matches before they worked hard. I believe it will be their first victory. I want to give them a 2-1 win.
2-1 win for Sheffield.
Yeah, probably the new Sheffield man from Liverpool, Brewster, probably would be getting on the score sheet.
Now, there is this match that I don't know how it will go. Leeds United playing Arsenal.
Leeds Arsenal. I remember the last match for Arsenal when they were playing Aston Villa. I thought that Aston Villa were going to trouble Arsenal. I did not see a a 3-0 win for Aston Villa, but I thought they would do enough to at least get a draw in that game, and I thought it was a game that Arsenal were going to be frustrated, but Aston Villa got more than what they bargained for. Arsenal again, their problems in front of goal continue to show. Uh, that's why for me, giving them wins in these games is very difficult of late, because as you know, for football matches you have to score goals to have results,
Yes, true.
and they are goal shy of late. So that game and Leeds being very tactical,
And
I
they
don't know.
attack. They go with
Yeah,
speed,
and
leads.
they go for the kill. If you see Harrison, the Man City Loney, and Click and Bamford, who has been a revelation for Leeds. I think Bamford is going to be a handful for them. Probably a punt for me to get on the score sheet anytime in that game. Uh, I don't know. It will be a very difficult game, a tactical match. I want to stand on the edge. I want to go for a 1-1 draw.
1-1 draw. For me, I was predicting 2-all.
2-1
Because
to Arsenal.
2-2, 2-2 draw.
2-2.
Because
Yeah, something like
I
that
strongly feel like
is the possibility. Yes.
I feel like Leeds will score. They are likely not to score once. They are likely to score twice. And you know the way Arsenal play, we've seen how they respond once they've conceded a goal, and
Mm.
they may always try to use their final third when they are a goal down. So they will be. It's like Arsenal will be coming from always with the pressure to equalize.
Mm.
And
Yeah, I think Ateta has been. I don't know. I want to limit it to the one goal because of Ateta's. He's a bit cagey when it gets to the difficult games, and don't not judging Leeds by some bad results they have got. They are a very good side, which every team would be worried to face. So I see him having that. I don't know, that KG approach about the games, the way he approaches the big games, because seeing Leeds playing away from home, when you see the likes of Costa and Harrison and Bamford and Click and Dallas, the left back, running at you, ailing. Everyone is just flying forward for Leeds. You fear that someday, if you're not careful, they can humiliate you at home. So I believe Ateta would be wary of that and probably go for the closed game.
yeah, because he faced them in January, I think, during the FA Cup. And
Mm,
first half, it was all Leeds. Actually, they dominated. The game was played at Emirates, and Arsenal were
mm,
lucky. They scored second half, so the game ended 1-0. But you could see
mm.
Leeds were all over just trying to to always score
Yeah,
goals.
Bielsa actually, interestingly, some of the players at Elland Road, they say that the training sessions for the Leeds players, for them, they are harder than the actual match. So by the time some of the players tell you that, then you can imagine what they are a very, very hardworking side. And Bielsa, we all know he's a tactical genius. He changes formations in the game. He can change the formations up to three or sometimes four times in a particular game. So it will be a really testing and interesting battle, especially when he comes up against the bigger sides. If you remember the first day against Liverpool, he acquitted himself well, putting three past them, and then against Man City, who he frustrated entirely. And if there was any winner in that particular game, it was Leeds who were pushing for the winner. So I'm sure when he sees these top six games, he's really jumping for those matches, and he'll be looking to put his best foot forward.
Okay, then a late match on Sunday, Liverpool Leicester.
Liverpool, Leicester. Um, you see, of late, well, of course, the blow for Liverpool is Salah, Mo Salah. Mo Salah unfortunately contracted COVID, and in the news, one of the football greats, I'm forgetting his name. He was scolding Salah for being careless. In
Okay.
this era, in this era, it's very difficult when a team is counting on you, and then you do not keep the COVID operating procedures to try and remain safe. Liverpool has very many injuries, and these are the last things you would want. COVID. Of late, the
Actually,
Premier League.
what happened to Salah? Was it out of careless or
Uh, what I read from the news is carelessness. He attended the wedding of his brother. Yeah, so that was a point of contact that really exposed him, and then he was pronounced positive.
okay,
So he will be out. He will be out for that game,
for
and
this fixture?
probably next. Yeah, for this fixture, I think he'll be back for the other one if he recovers. Yeah, actually, the Premier League is recording the highest rate of COVID, standing at 16 cases as we speak. So it's a trying time, a time when the teams are looking to see the fans get back to the stadium. Yeah, and then also that aside, the big call for Liverpool. That aside, of course, we all know about the injuries to Van Dijk, to Gomez, and now Fabinho, who was always standing in the back line, but he can no longer stand in. Is also injured. And then in the last game, there was a blow for them. Also, Trent Alexander-Arnold also out. And then recent in the internationals, also Andrew Robertson also got a knock. So it's a bit, it's a headache for Klopp, who has been pushing for the five substitutes, and also easing the fixture pressure, because also if you see the injuries, actually we were running an analysis of the injuries to the Premier League this season vis-a-vis the other seasons, and there is an all-time high of up to 31 thigh muscles 31 sorry, muscle injuries to the players. So it tells you their bodies are being overworked. And then also what could have helped, like using the five substitutes, 11 of the teams only voted for it, but 14 were needed to vote for the new change to be effective of using five substitutes. So they still have to suffer with the three, but it looks bad in terms of injuries. So as we talk about matches, we also have to factor in the injuries, which has become a big problem.
And on the Leicester side, do they have any suspension and injury concerned?
Yeah, Leicester, for them, they still have the long term absentees, the likes of Ricardo, and also Soyunchi, who is the linchpin of their defense. Actually, he's the envy of many top six sides. Soyuncu is very, very solid, and him being out is a big miss for them. I think he's been out for almost a month now. So he's still the those are still the biggest misses for them. Yeah, but they look good. Of course, Vardy will be home, no international football. Yeah, so they have to hope the likes of Brad and Barnes and Tillmans, who scored for Belgium uh, in the internationals, that remain fit and also COVID free. So as it stands now, from the injuries and it tilts the tie in Leicester's favor, and also considering the form for Leicester away from home, they have been magnificent. We saw how they dispatched the likes of Man City with relative ease. Then they had the KG affair with Arsenal, who they edged thanks to the to the to the to the all-time tormentor Vardy. Yeah. So I considering the form, I want I think Brandon Rogers will approach the game also the same way. Try to catch Liverpool on the counter. Liverpool will miss Mo Salah a lot, but also we should not forget that Diogo Jota has been a revelation in the Liverpool side. So he has to. These are the moments when he has to stand up and be counted.
Maybe you'll
Yeah,
start the game.
yeah, definitely. He's a definite starter because even with Mo Salah being fit, he's been giving a very welcome headache to Klopp to start the game. So the front three, I think he's going to play Jota, he's going to play Firmino, and yeah. So from there on, going for it would cause problems to them, but the problem is in defense, how they are going to set up for me. And if you have an experienced striker like Buddy running at you, and you have Barnes and you have Pratt, and also Anda, signed from I think Napoli, who also has been looking good from the substitute appearances he has been making. You fear for Liverpool in that area. And then also in the middle of the park, how you see the likes of Mendy playing, and Tillmans, who scored a nice goal for Belgium against England, is also a very important integral part of how Leicester play. And he is the man that does deliver those killer passes, shifting the play from the defense to the attack, the transition of the side. Also because of the injuries, who is also going to cause Liverpool some many problems, where Rodgers has been putting him on the bench and then bringing him on to impact the games. We all know the quality that he has. So for me, based on those, I think it's going to be a very difficult game for Liverpool. And if they can get even a draw, it will be a good result for them, considering the circumstances. Yeah. Otherwise, with the form Vardy has and how Leicester has been playing away from home, I want to give them a victory away from home.
So, your prediction scores?
So my final prediction, I am going for a 1-2 victory for Leicester.
1-2 victory for Leicester.